Welcome in, a little moving and a grooving on a Thursday. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. As always, we are broadcasting live from our studio in beautiful downtown Huntsville, right next to the gallery. Our good friend Paul Oley taking care of business here with photography and framing. Go by and see him. Tell him I sent you. He is a great man, and we want to support local business. Also, our studio is always sponsored by our good friend, Elliott's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com. If you're waking up this morning and you're in the doghouse, get your lady or your guy a diamond, jewelry, whatever. Take care of them. We have a couple of guests here. They're looking at each other right now. They'll be on in 15 minutes, but they said, where's my diamonds? Well, we'll talk about that as we go on. But Justin Killingsworth in the house today. Welcome from the Color Bar.
Yes.
Good to see you, man.
Yes.
What's
How
up?
are you?
You know, someone told me once, like, man, Rob, you're doing a lot of things. I was like, no, I'm not doing half the things that Justin Killingsworth does. You were born and raised here, the Color Bar, many other business ventures. And, Justin, I just got to start off and by first of all saying thank you for being a great friend, not just to me but to this community, for giving back through your business. And then secondly, man, just helping us to kind of get this rolling. You know, Elliott's Jewelers came on as our studio sponsor. We started our Foundation 5 sponsorships, and immediately you said, hey, man, I want to get on board and help out. And your sponsorship and those that are helping us get started is really what's making this work. So thank you, my friend.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's always great to see friends be able to prosper and take new leaps. I always say if you don't do it, you won't know. So
there you go. That's the word for the day. We always try to bring a little encouragement, a little inspiration to the show. There you go. If you say it again, Justin.
If you don't do it, you won't know.
If you don't do it, you won't know. I love that, man. So we're going to get T-shirts made, trademark.
Yes.
Justin will get the royalties on that. But let us know this morning what you're thankful for. As always, we love for you to chime in. Our good buddy Matthew Johnson already chiming in saying good morning. Let us know where you're at, what you're thankful for today. You know, one thing that I love about this show, Justin, is we highlight all the good that's happening here in Huntsville. We don't get political. We don't bring in, you know, the bad news, because any community has the bad news. But I'll tell you what, Huntsville has so much good news that overwrites any bad. I've seen that when we had the opportunity to come back from Fargo. We said, you know what, we're coming back, man, and this is where we are, and we love it. And I think that resonates with the rest of the community. They kind of carry that same attitude. I mean, you were born and raised here. You've seen it. You've seen how the community grows.
Absolutely.
What's been special for you, man?
You know, it's just the small town vibe. You know, it's very much a community that supports those who support it. In my success, you know, I give as much support as I possibly can to my community, because without them, I wouldn't have my business. I wouldn't have the many ventures that we do, the events that we put on downtown, things like that. Without the community, what are those? And that's what I like most about this community, is being able to give back and receive, and it's kind of a give and take situation.
Yeah, well, I saw you out here yesterday with Main Street getting ready for Junkapalooza. They're putting the stickers down. I mean, it's all those things that you're involved in. Talk a little bit about just the tourism side of things, and you've been an integral part of that with Main Street as well.
Tourism here has just taken it's just skyrocketed here recently. I would say probably in the past 4 years. The city of Huntsville definitely has a great tourism department with the economical director, Tammy Gann, overseeing that. She really takes it, and she's actively searching for people that are going to help boost the economy here in Huntsville. And there's so many things that happen behind the scenes that our community doesn't know about. And so being able to be involved in that has definitely helped shed different light on things. You know, just last week we had Model A cars here. They stayed. There was 48 of them, I believe. And this was their hub. So they were here, and then they would go an hour away and then come back here. So everything was the heads and beds here in Huntsville, supporting our local food establishments, the hotels, different things like that here. But they would take day trips, and all of that was planned by our tourism department.
Yeah, it's all important. You know, heads and beds, that's kind of the motto with any city with the tourism. And I got to witness that, you know, being on the city's tourism board and seeing things, and proud to serve on that again. I appreciate the city having me back on, and it's going to be a lot of exciting things. Part of the reason that I wanted to join that board, and just like you, Justin, you know, Huntsville has such a unique culture, and I've talked about it. I mean, here we are on episode 9, and I've talked about it on probably 9 episodes. Just about how important it is to preserve the culture of a community as it grows. You don't want that culture to be overran, because then the things that made the community great to start with kind of get washed down the Trinity River, if you will.
Absolutely.
So we don't want to see that happen.
It's okay. TRA will clean it up.
Yeah, they'll come through and clean it up. That's right. But a lot of good things happening. You know, heard from Vance Howard yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
He was at Rotary Club. Man, the Cafe Texan is going to be hustling and a bustling, man.
Yes.
I cannot believe the work that has went into that place, and congratulations to Vance, and thank you for giving back. He's running it as a nonprofit.
Correct.
And any profit that restaurant generates, that cafe generates, is going to go back to the local community. I think that's phenomenal. He's been tremendously blessed with business ventures and the ability to fund a lot of projects, but said he didn't want to get into the restaurant business, but he got into it. And this is going to be a destination hub to bring people off of 45. He's got artifacts coming in here from all over the world. I saw stuff from, like, BC days, man.
Yes. And it's really great. Like, with the Cafe Texan open, that's going to be number 6 restaurant downtown as well. So that's super exciting because for the longest time we had 1 or 2, and, now we're creating that vibe. I believe that Vance is going to be open for breakfast and lunch, but closed for dinner for private events for fundraising. Mm-hmm. So super excited about that.
Yeah, and I've reached out to some of his camp, if you will, some of his team that were there as guests as a Rotary Club yesterday, and we're going to have them on the show eventually to talk more about the great things happening at Cafe Texan, also the museum now. So it's going to be exciting to see those artifacts that he has literally collected from all over the world. There was one, he was talking about some Napoleon's pistols that he had picked up, and the government of France would not allow them. They were trying everything that they could to not allow them to come to the United States, and it got all the way down to they found gunpowder inside the barrels, and he had to have a professional company come in and clean out the gun barrels to get rid of the gunpowder so that he could bring the guns here to the United States.
Well, that man is – where there's a will, there's a way, and if he can do it, he's going to.
Yeah, he was joking around. He said, I'm pretty good at twisting an arm. He goes, I thought I was going to have to sue the French government, but we were able to get those guns here and everything's good. So
also, about Vance, all the bump outs in downtown. There's 6 bump outs that Cowboy Cactus, I think that's the name. Vance had him come in and do all the bump outs, which are like all the plant things.
Yeah, gotcha.
So not my area of expertise.
You're not a botanist yet.
No, not yet.
It's coming soon. That's next on your list.
Okay.
So,
we'll
Justin,
add that.
Before we dig in, we have some guests that are going to be joining us here in the next few minutes. We'll bring them on in a minute. Very excited. We're going to be educated this morning on a very important cause with muscular dystrophy, and excited to have our friend come in and talk about that and just so many things that are going on, and it's something that we need to bring awareness to. And so we'll be talking about that here in a little bit in a support group for folks out there, the National MS Society of Texas, and Jamie Wilder will be joining us. So we're happy to have her here in just a few minutes. Before we take a break and bring her on, wanted to give you a chance just to prop up the Color Bar, man. When I think of Huntsville and you, I think this is Mr. Color Bar. He's sitting right here with us. Got started a few years ago. I didn't know you before the Color Bar, so I've known you just as like Mr. Color Bar. That's my new nickname for you. How'd you get started, man? You guys do such great work, by the way.
Thank you. We actually got started 3 years ago. I was a hairstylist downtown Houston. We moved back here. We have a little 6-year-old. So wanted to be a little closer to family. All my family was here, born and raised here, has been here. So kind of hub for me. We noticed that on weekends we were coming up more often. We're like, well, why don't we just move back?
So you're coming from the big city to the little city, so the other way around.
Right,
I love it,
absolutely. So, and I actually did not intend to open a hair salon. I had a fully licensed salon, just me. I had my own clientele that commuted from Houston to come and see me. It was great. The opportunity presented itself. I said, you know what? If I don't do it, I won't know. There was definitely some hesitation from, my support system. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It'll be fine. And here we are 3 years later. We have the Color Bar, and then we also have Farmhouse Furniture and Gifts located on the square. So definitely just involved in many different areas of town. At the Color Bar, we care about the experience. We want to make sure that every guest receives the service that they want, that it's relaxing for them, that they get their aromatherapy, that they get their hand relief treatments, which is a arm and hand massage. We have free margaritas and free dreamsicles, unlimited, all you want.
Man, there you go. We're going to turn off the show. We'll be back here in a couple of hours. We'll be back.
So it's definitely about guest care and making sure that it's easy from the start to the finish. Obviously, there's hiccups sometimes. We do our best to avoid those, but we bend over backwards to make sure that our guests are taken care of and that we're involved in the community as well. It's just it's an experience for me. It's not just hair. That hair is with you so many parts of your life, from childbirth to death to any and everything in between, graduation. So it means a lot.
Yeah, well, it's good stuff. You can go check them out. Please go see our friend Justin and his amazing staff over at the Color Bar. They will take care of you. They'll make you beautiful. Starts with your hair, goes down to your teeth and your toes, and everywhere, all over is what Justin does. They'll take good care of you at the Color Bar. We will step aside. I said muscular dystrophy a while ago. I was actually talking to a person the other day that was battling a family member with that. I meant multiple sclerosis, I believe. So I apologize for that. But we will be hearing more from Jamie here, talking about MS and just bringing some awareness to a very important topic and a support group that has started here in Huntsville. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Stay with us. Keep those comments coming in. A lot of folks joining us. Tammy, good morning to you. Lena Rogers, she is joining out of Florida, so appreciate you joining. I told you, it's not just Huntsville. It's all over the place.
It's all over.
So we'll step aside. We'll take a break. We'll be back here in a moment. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Hey, friends, welcome back at it here on Good Morning Huntsville. We have moved away from the field, and now we are back into our studio. Just kidding. We had to roll the green screen down. But welcome back in. Thanks for joining us here today on another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Happy Thursday to you. Now joined by our new good friend here, Miss Jamie Wilder. Thanks for being here, Jamie Wright Wilder, joining us today. Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Early, but glad to be here.
And I'm so thankful because Terry Coleman was in here, one of our first shows, and she said, "Where's the coffee?" And we didn't have it. And so
yes, you had coffee this morning.
We had coffee. And that's thanks to Terry Coleman for bringing the idea. And then Elliot sponsored it. He sponsors the studio. Now he sponsors the coffee pot.
He does a lot of things. He is sponsoring. I'm in JSL, Junior Service League, and he's sponsoring one of the prizes for our raffle that we're doing right now.
That's great. We just spoke to
Sandy
with JSL. Yeah,
yes.
That's right. We just spoke to Miss Harding here earlier this week, so it was great to have her on. And Jamie bringing forth some very important information today. And there's a support group that you're a part of that you've started. I just kind of wanted to give you an opportunity just to highlight MS. It's an illness that affects a lot of people, and we need to bring awareness to it. And you're doing a fantastic job doing that. So just kind of bring us into the mix. How'd you get into Huntsville, and just start? We'll start from there.
Well, I came to Huntsville to finish my college degree, and I met a local man, and I never left. So I've been here 22, I think, yes, close to 22 years now. So.
It's a
Love it.
community
Fabulous
that is growing, 100%. Jamie, I wanted to bring this up today, and I so appreciate you reaching out to us because this show is all about highlighting good things in our community and also bringing awareness to certain things that we need to know about. We just had Tammy Farkas on with Safe House and talking about sexual abuse awareness month, a very important topic as well. And this is you're representing the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Kind of, dig into that and let us know about MS and some of the things behind it, because a lot of people aren't aware of it.
Yes, and it's often confused for muscular dystrophy. Mm-hmm. That happens often, so don't feel bad about that. So probably more people have MS than you realize. I think now it's like 1.5 million people in the U.S. have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I personally started having symptoms when I was probably a late teen with just numbness in my hand. It starts often with very vague symptoms, and not anything that you could point your finger at, just something, you just have numbness. Progressed until I was in my 20s, and I started having extreme fatigue. I went to doctors. There was nothing wrong with me. Everything came back perfect. Blood work, maybe I was a little anemic. They told me I had 2 small children. You're supposed to be tired. But this was debilitating fatigue. I would not be able to get out of bed to care for my children. And then it would subside, and I would be fine again. And the symptoms like that, very vague, went on for a number of years until I was in my late 30s. And kids were older, basketball games, sitting on bleachers, back and forth. A very busy schedule for them and me. And one day, I was coming home from a basketball game out of town with my 2 children, 2 teenagers at the time. And thank goodness one of them had done some driving. He, I don't think, had his permit at that time, but I couldn't feel my right hand. I couldn't feel my right foot. So driving, I couldn't press the pedals. Came home, figured I needed to go to the doctor quickly because I was having trouble walking, all of those things. So went through the process. My doctor here was wonderful. He thought I had a pinched nerve, sent me for testing, and the testing came back that I had multiple sclerosis and didn't know anything about it. I'm also adopted, so I don't have a full medical history. And so that was kind of a priority for me to then try and get as much of my medical history. As it turns out, my biological father also had MS. Mm-hmm. At the time when I was diagnosed, they didn't believe that there was a strong genetic component in it. I think now that they've determined that there's probably more of a genetic component, and then it's triggered by something environmental. The truth is they don't know a whole lot about what causes MS. But with the National MS Society funding and other organizations, it's not just them, they have done so much progress in research and trying to figure out what's wrong with, what causes it, and also finding treatments that are available. Because really within the last, 30 to 40 years ago, there was basically one treatment, and it was hit or miss. Now there are multiple treatments for each type of multiple sclerosis. Some are more progressive than others. So
we're talking this morning to Jamie Wright Wilder. Appreciate you being here. She is forming a peer support group, the leader for the National MS Society in Texas, and that group is here meeting in Huntsville now. And if I'm not mistaken, kind of let us know. And I so appreciate you sharing your story. I think it's so important because there may be other folks out there that are going through MS and that have it. And I think it's important to, when we're going through something, that we need to surround ourselves with people that are also in that same situation to kind of build each other up. How did that kind of transition into the support group and now you kind of being a voice and helping others?
Well, that's actually why I reached out to the MS Society, because our area doesn't have any support group. And I was diagnosed 12 years ago. And from the beginning, for anything, I had to go to Houston, which is a stressful situation. When you're already in a stressed, you've got the traffic, most things are in the medical center, so you have to deal with parking. So
Hour away.
You're just stressed, which makes MS symptoms worse. Try to avoid stress at all possible. If all possible. So it's been on my heart to do something here because I actually had a wonderful woman in my church who she just kind of took me under her wing and, it's going to be okay. This is what we can do, made some recommendations for me. And I think that there's just a need in this community for that. The closest support group is the Woodlands.
And that's still a good drive, too. I mean, that's not just right, in your backyard.
Correct. And that's south. North, Dallas.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's, 3.5, 3 hours away.
Yes. And so so MS is about connections, disrupting connections. So it is an autoimmune disease, and it affects your nervous system. Sorry, my hands are nervous. And when there's a disruption in the nervous system, it affects all systems of your body. And I think it's just important that we stay as connected as possible because our bodies are trying to disconnect us from our physical abilities and from our social abilities. And if there's a place for us to come together and discuss and share resources with each other, and for newly diagnosed people, but not just newly diagnosed people, because there has been so much research. A lot of people get stuck in a treatment plan that they could benefit from something new, or just having the knowledge that there's something new. And if you're not seeing a neurologist that is really up on what is available out there, you're definitely missing out on quality of life.
Jamie, how, in your own words, can you tell me the growth that MS has seen over the past 20 years? As far as people diagnosed, the awareness that it has, and different things of that nature.
So I think more people are diagnosed now. I don't think it's more prevalent. I think that there are more people diagnosed just because there are imaging studies. MRIs didn't exist when MS was. MS has been around forever. But just the medical advances in diagnosing have improved, and so you therefore just have people that are diagnosed, whereas people just had these symptoms and they didn't know in the past what was causing it.
You brought up environmental induced. Can you go into a little further detail about that?
They just really don't know. That's just one of the things that they think, but also there have been a lot of recent studies that link it to the Epstein-Barr virus, which is the virus that is responsible for mono. I think 99% of people that are diagnosed with MS carry that.
They may have that virus.
Antibodies for the Epstein-Barr.
Again, this morning, bringing up a very important topic. Jamie Wright Wilder joining us here on Good Morning Huntsville. So nice to have you. When you came in, the room started glowing, Jamie, and I can tell that this is something that you're very passionate and an advocate for, because you want to help others that are going through this. I have a friend that has MS, and so he's enlightened me a little bit, but we never, I don't talk to him and say, hey, let's talk MS. He doesn't want to, he'd rather talk about other things, obviously. And
sure,
it's one of those things. I kind of wanted to backtrack a little bit because, there may be somebody out there today that I don't want folks to worry, but you do need to be aware if things are going on. You said for you, this started in your 20s and it was more like tingling, that kind of thing.
So yes, actually, if I think back in my teens, my late teens, but yes, so, specifically, my right hand would be tingly or numb in certain circumstances. And then, I think back, and it usually is, so heat exacerbates symptoms, stress, all of those type of things exacerbate any symptoms that you might have. So when I look back, it was probably in times that I was under a more stressful situation or summertime. I mean, we live in Texas. You're in the heat.
Yeah,
you know?
I was about to
I
say,
know.
it
I'm
gets
just
hot.
thinking of us sitting here with the door open, enjoying the nice breeze this morning, and how we're not going to be able to do that soon.
Yes, it is nice. It's very nice.
That's why we have the show from 7 to 8, it's in AM instead of PM. So, well, Jamie, I think it's incredible what you're doing. Just a tremendous blessing to this community, helping out others. Talk a little bit more about the peer support group, because it is here in Huntsville, fourth Thursday every month, 5:30 to 6:30 at the public library. Give us some more details. Kind of how is that going? Is it growing? People coming? Let us know about it.
So it's brand new. This will be next Thursday will be our first meeting.
Okay, there we
Awesome.
go. All right.
Yes. So I'm so excited to be here on your show. I'm hoping that we can reach more people just to let them know. And I'm just invite anyone in their course, either family, friend, person's diagnosed. We would love to have anybody there because you need a support system.
As you're chatting about this, this is the joy of the show with self-producing. I'm putting it up there on the comments for you. So if folks, by the way, if you ever see me turn around, I'm paying attention, but I'm also interacting with our audience, and I wanted to make sure that I put this up here. It's the Huntsville Peer Support Group for MS, fourth Thursday monthly from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Huntsville Public Library. Of course, no cost to come in, and National MS Society helping to provide resources as well. What are some other ways that you're kind of helping to promote this and get the word out?
Well, I've shared on Facebook. I've shared with all of family and friends, and I have a fabulous support network. So they've done their part to share. I've reached out to you. I have reached out to the radio, KSAM. Just any media. Dropped a couple of flyers off at a pharmacy, doctor's office. But also, I have limited resources physically, and so I'm really relying on our community to help share. And as I said, Huntsville, I felt there was a need. But if you're in Madisonville, if you're in Centerville, come. I mean, we're not going to exclude you for any reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want you to know if you're suffering from MS, maybe you felt isolated here in Huntsville or throughout Walker County or even up in Centerville, as you mentioned, and to the north in Madisonville. If you felt isolated, that you didn't have anywhere to go, guess what? Jamie is providing a resource. She is going through the same thing you're going through, and she wants to be there for you and everyone together in this support group. Again, the fourth Thursday every month, 5:30 to 6:30 at the Huntsville Public Library. Is there a Facebook group that you've created yet? Anything like that you're working on?
I have not created a Facebook group, but I would be, if that's something that the group would feel is beneficial, I would completely be behind that. We're still going to be working out how the group,
Gotcha.
what group the group needs are.
Come on, Rob. It's their first meeting.
Yeah. Do you have car magnet? No, I'm just kidding, Jamie. Just kidding. So
Come on, Rob. They don't have a sign yet. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Justin's kind of a jack of all trades also. So, he's marketing extraordinaire, I think, as well. So
No, I think it's really great to be able to bring awareness to something that I don't mean offense to anyone, but affects a small amount of people. I definitely think it's something that's needed because everyone needs a support system, whether it's large or whether it's one person, And so having a group, providing this group for a support system of alike is fantastic. And, I'm sure that you'll find through your journey with this that it's people that don't necessarily have MS but want to help support. That's what's great about Huntsville and this community is there's caring people here. It doesn't matter if they have
100%.
MS or not, or if, it doesn't matter. There's people of all walks, and everyone cares. And that's what's really great about this community. So I have no doubt that this will definitely take off for you.
Thank you. I hope so.
Jamie, before we let you go, just any other information you'd like to provide? Been such a joy having you here today.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed it. I'm extremely nervous. I'm an introvert. This is way outside my wheelhouse, but
There's only 4 of us here. It's fine. That's what I keep telling myself.
right. I just really would appreciate the community sharing and getting the word out since it is a new new group. Just
So where can they specifically find the flyer for this on social media so that they would be able to share it besides our Facebook page here?
my Facebook page, which is Jamie Wright Wilder in Huntsville, Texas.
You realize you're going to get a lot of friend requests now, right?
I have it publicly shared, so
Yay.
it's out there. And then if you go to the National MS Society's website, there's information about the meeting on there too.
Sweet.
You can search. If you're not able to come to this meeting, but you feel like one is necessary for you, you can go to their website, put in your zip code, and they will give you the closest meeting to you.
And what is that website?
National, let's see, gosh, way to
Come
put me
on,
on the
Jamie.
spot.
Can't tell them to go somewhere, not tell them where.
Google National MS Society.
You'll find it. Jamie, if it's okay on the flyer here, you have some information with the phone number. Is it okay if I go ahead and put that on the screen here?
Yes, that's
So we'll do that as
perfect.
well. So you can join this group, the Huntsville MS Peer Support Group. Jamie Wilder helping to get this going. The email also, send her an email, HuntsvilleTXMSPeerGroup@gmail.com. And then that phone number is right there at 713-581-0063. That's all the details and to get folks connected. And we would love for you to chime in with us once a month or so to send us a message. Let us know how things are
will.
going.
Yes, absolutely.
And any needs that you have, please reach out to us because that's what we do at Hello Huntsville and here on this show. It's all about promoting organizations such as yours and what you're getting going here.
Rob,
in the
aren't you
community.
working on a calendar?
We are. We're working on an events calendar as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So
If you could put me on that calendar monthly, then that'd be great too.
yeah, we will absolutely do that. I have hired my beautiful bride now as an intern pay to help out with that calendar and get stuff going. So it'll be great to have these events such as this. So. Jamie, very important, and I want to encourage you this morning. Maybe you're battling MS or you know someone that is. Talk to people. That's the best way to overcome things. And you know, it's one of those. We were talking to a young man yesterday that battled addiction, and he found recovery through that. I say the word overcome because you don't ever really overcome it. You have to take it on, and you've got to be around people. Even those that suffer with addictions, they don't ever really overcome them, but they find ways to cope with it. And I think that's the key: is getting around people, being involved, and just hugging and loving on each other.
100%. There is no cure for multiple sclerosis. It is about learning to deal with the symptoms and slow the progression. So the more that you can interact and enjoy the life that you have, and it is so important. And it's about keeping those connections in your life and in your community. And I really appreciate you having me on and giving me the opportunity to share my group and hopefully, help somebody else navigate this.
Absolutely. Again, please share the word, spread the word here for Jamie. Again, if you know of someone that's battling MS, they want to meet up, and let's do it here in Huntsville. Jamie making that happen.
Jamie, is the meeting tonight or next week?
Next week, the
Next week.
27th.
Yeah, don't show up tonight.
Yeah, won't be there tonight.
Just reading some of our comments online.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, someone had said so is the first meeting tonight. No, it will be the
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yes.
So make sure that you're there next Thursday.
Thank you for
don't show up.
clarifying.
Yeah. All right, Jamie, we appreciate you. Again, please check in with us, and we look forward to this getting going and being a tremendous asset to the community for those that need it.
Thank you.
We'll step aside, take a break. A lot more to come here this morning on Good Morning Huntsville. Let us know you're out there. We'd love to hear from you. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Hey, Huntsville, welcome back in to Good Morning Huntsville. Rob Hipp alongside Justin Killingsworth, the Color Bar, and just a tremendous morning there hearing from Jamie. We appreciate her coming in and sharing just an important topic. You know, it's one of those things that, you know, you never know in life who you're around that may need your support, and Jamie doing an incredible job bringing awareness to
Absolutely.
MS. You know, it's something that's really important. So, again, please get out there and support her group. Justin, here we are, 7:41, man. We still got a little bit of time here as we're rocking and rolling on Good Morning Huntsville. Want to welcome everybody in. Let us know you're out there, and appreciate everybody. Matthew Johnson chiming in again. Appreciate you. Justin Kring in the house today, and saying, I remember him from high school. I went to school with his sister, Diane.
Yes, that's my youngest sister.
Oh, there you go. So Justin is like Justin Kring. He's kind of like Justin Killingsworth. He's like all things Huntsville. He's always around all of the events. So, Justin, we appreciate you. I always call him Huntsville Hornet #1 fan.
Yeah.
So he's at every event. But, Justin, appreciate you joining us as well this morning. Karen Vormick joining in. And then Leanna Rogers, I believe that was a family member of Jamie earlier, chiming in saying that Dad was misdiagnosed at the beginning. And, you know, I forgot to ask her about that, and we'll have her on again, you know, hopefully here in the next couple of months or so to kind of give us an update.
Definitely want to hear about how her first meeting went. So
I do.
Super excited about that. And it goes back to our little motto this morning, if you don't do it, you won't know.
Yeah, if you don't do it, you won't know. And that's something I wanted to bring up to her because I'm not a doctor, but it's like, how many times are people misdiagnosed with certain things? And I'm not knocking, you know, doctrine. That's why I love being back in Texas, Justin, because I can say, like,
make up our own words.
Boy, I tell you what, boy, I'm not knocking doctrine. But I just wonder about that. Because when I was up, you know, in Fargo, man, I've been aching and hurting for 15 years. And as I get older, it's gotten progressively worse. And I've had every blood test under the sun. And all I've been told is like, oh, you're stressed out. You're too busy. You need to eat healthier. I'm like, brother, I know a guy that's like 300 pounds that eats 2 hamburgers a day, and he feels great. And, you know, I'm eating like 2 hamburgers a week, and I don't feel that good. So, you know, who knows, Justin. But I think it's important, though, to get involved in these groups and to spread the good news. So
even if you're not just directly involved with the group, sharing awareness and helping promote that group can be so beneficial, because it's not something that you particularly care about, it doesn't mean that someone that you're close to isn't interested in it. So, you know, and those people may not even tell you. You know, they may just be acquaintances, and you share it and they see it. And it's all about the reach. Facebook and social media is just an amazing tool that is literally at our fingertips. So even if you are not diagnosed with MS, please share. That way someone will see it that is.
Absolutely. My sister joining us from Belton, Texas, saying good morning, and appreciate you, sis. Love you. In fact, my little niece will be hopefully attending Sam Houston State in a couple of years. She was happy we moved back because now she can come hang out with Uncle Rob and Aunt Bridget. So a lot of great happening in our community. It's right here in our backyard. So many wonderful events happening. That kind of segues into an event coming up here before too long. Justin, class of 41. So you've been in Huntsville your whole life. You've been just involved from the get-go, probably even when you were a kid. So how did it take, like, 41 – of course, you're not 41 years old, but it took a long time for you to get an HLI, man. What was going on?
You know, I think the first year I was so focused on growing my business when I came back.
Was this like 2020, 2021?
2019
so
is
right,
when I
COVID.
came back.
Man.
I did. We opened during the freeze.
Where were you at before that?
Downtown Houston.
So, see, you brought the Rona to Huntsville because you were
don't
around all
blame
those
me.
people.
It was
Thanks
already
a lot.
here.
Because the forest filters all that out, so you brought it. Thanks, Justin.
Me and many others. Everyone else vacating Houston and California, moving here to TRG or somewhere.
Yeah,
you
there
know?
you go.
So, look, now you made me forget the question, Rob.
Yeah, we were talking about
event HLI.
HLI. How'd you get involved?
So, just the first year opening my business, you know, just got very involved with the chamber. I'm one of the ambassadors for the chamber, as is Rob.
Not yet, not officially. I will eventually.
That's right.
Yeah.
July.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tammy, if you're watching, I'm putting in the application today.
Yes. You know, so just being involved in the chamber in our community and the Huntsville Downtown Business Alliance and the tourism and just everything, HLI, when I saw it in class 40 is when I was like, hey, Laura, how do I get an HLI? You know, things had kind of settled down for me where my schedule kind of opened up a little bit. And let me tell you, I added back onto that. So she's like, oh, well, you have to apply. I was like, oh, okay, great. So I applied and obviously accepted into HLI class 41, the best class ever.
Everybody just
look, we have so many different mottos. It's unreal. Like, we call ourselves the most destructive class ever because we were out on the chamber deck at our first session. And thank goodness for Clint Sandel. He's fixed it since then. But we were all taking a photo. And literally, 1, 2, photo, we hit the floor.
Is there any picture of it as it's happening?
I don't know. I hope Laura held that button down because I don't think we've seen it, but I'm sure at our graduation coming up that if she has it, it'll be displayed so we can all laugh about it. So yes, our HLI class project this year was the stage at Rather Park. We have an event coming up this Saturday. Free beer, free food, a bounce houses for the kids, free giveaways, swag, all different kinds of things. That event's going to run from 11 to 3. And before that, also something else I'm involved in, downtown, is going to be Junkapalooza. Roads close at 6:30 for the people that are participating in that. Opens up at 7 for the community to start shopping. There's currently 110 booths.
Man, that is nuts. And it's 6:30 in the morning. And
6:30 in the morning.
You better have your car. I got to notice, you better have your car out from downtown, especially here on University,
yes.
I think by 5 a.m. because your car will be towed at your expense, probably double interest as well.
Right, maybe. I don't know. I don't handle that part. I think it's left up to the towing company.
So 110 booths going to be Junkapalooza. It's like something always comes up, and I never get to be a part of it. Of course, I was last year had things going on. Then we moved to Fargo, and then this year we're going to be down in San Antonio. But it's a really cool. I'm a garage sale guy.
Yeah.
Are you a garage sale
yes.
guy? I love garage. My mom used to get mad because one time I brought back a. Back then, it was called an electric broom. This was before the Dyson.
Yes, this one.
So it was a vacuum, but it was basically, they called it the electric broom.
The one that the 2 rollers swivel automatically.
That's right. And I bought it. I don't know why. I was a kid. I was 9 years old, and I bought this electric broom, which was basically a vacuum for a hardwood floor. And my mom said, why are you bringing that junk into my house? I said, well, I thought you needed it, Mom. And I turned it on, and dust went everywhere. And And it was a lady, Miss Truitt, and she's like, I don't want old lady Truitt's dust in my house. I'll never forget that, man. So Miss Truitt is, since then long gone. So God bless her. But it was funny, though. So
yes.
I love garage sales, man.
Yes.
I picked up a Nintendo at a garage sale once, the old school 8-bit Nintendo for $5. Those are selling for $200 online.
Yeah. People get rid of some things.
Are you going to are you selling anything at Junkapalooza?
I am not selling anything. I am volunteering. I have plenty of junk. I have to buy Connex storage units to house it all. I just keep adding to it. I will not. I'll be volunteering, helping with Main Street with check-in that day. So,
how many folks do you think they're expecting down here?
Well, at least 110.
Yeah, the booth for sure. And it's free to the public, right?
It is free to the public. There's no cost to come shop. It's last year it was a fantastic event. There are lots of people, lots of vendors. There will be food and drinks available that morning as well for those early birds. So super excited about that.
No mimosas, though, right?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see if that happens. Get out of here. Junkapalooza happening Saturday. Get up here early, 7 a.m.
7 a.m. is when it kicks off.
Gets cranking at 7 a.m., and then you can hang out, shop all morning, and then 11 o'clock, is that?
11 o'clock at the Rather Park, which is right across from Walker County Title, the corner of University and 13th.
So, and that is when the kickoff is going to happen there for the new stage that HLI has graciously built, put together. Excited. And that's where we're going to see some of the Main Street Music Series this year as well.
Yes, so super excited about that. May 13th, our first one up is Sundance Head. So super excited about that. That stage is going to open up Huntsville to a whole different avenue of things. So we're super excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Bring a little music scene here to Huntsville and some exciting times. Bring your family out, enjoy it. And, what I love about just our downtown area, so many great businesses here and a lot of folks working around the clock just to bring these events to you with our friends. Huntsville Main Street's right next door to us. And that's what I love about, working with Paul now and with Paul Oley and, being a part of helping him promote the gallery through what I'm doing here through Hello Huntsville is this little spot was right here, and he said, well, hey, why don't you use that spot, and then I can help promote you, and we kind of work together. But it's such a blessing because Huntsville Main Street's right next door to us.
Absolutely. Paul sits on the Arts Commission as well.
He does, yeah.
So he's one of the Arts Commission board representatives. I took a project to them that I believe Rotary is probably going to be picking up, but bright letters that spell out Huntsville to put in Rather Park, and
that's going to be great.
A piece of artwork so that you can be the eye in Huntsville. Super excited about that project as well, so that we have an opportunity for a photo op and to promote tourism, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of Sam Houston graduate photos done with that sign.
One thing, Justin, you're good at these ideas and working with others and bringing them to fruition. One idea that I've always had and I'm sure others have had it, that I really want to see come to pass. And this isn't knocking anybody or any organization, but I would love to see, like when you're up in North Texas and you're driving down the interstate, that you're in the area of UNT, the University of North Texas. Sam Houston is such an integral part of this community, and with the growth of the university, 22,000 kids. I mean, we're talking Baylor numbers here, and I'm going to tell you right now, you got to get this mental block out of your head that, we got to compete with A&M. No, you don't. Because when I was – and people say, well, that's easy for you to say when you're at Fargo because NDSU is the only show in town. No, it's not. You have UND up to the north. You have SDSU down to the south within 2 to 3 hours driving, just like other programs around here. What I'm getting at, though, is I've always had a vision that when you are on 45 – and I understand there's, TxDOT and all that, and this is where we have to figure it out. But I would love, when you're going down 45, to know that you are in Bearcat country. Because the only thing right now that says Sam Houston State, and again, I'm not knocking anybody, but the only thing that says Sam Houston State is a sign that says Sam Houston ST Univ with an arrow to exit.
There's actually 3 of those signs on the way, but yes, the Wayfinder signs are a little smaller. You are forgetting one massive thing.
What is that?
As you're coming in from
the water tower?
No, not the water tower. The Sam Houston statue.
Yes,
so that's really great. There's some memorabilia out there as well for Sam Houston State University, but I 100% agree. I want people to drive on 45 and know that they are in Huntsville, Texas. There is a lot with TxDOT, and I'm really pushing for a billboard out there next to Big Sam in the tree line that is on city property. That would be really, really great. One thing that drives me crazy is all the people that park along 45 when there's this big red no parking sign. And I'm like, dude, just exit.
Yeah, don't park
Just
there.
Exit and come. We need to count your numbers as you're walking through the visitor center there,
Well, I say it because in Georgetown is, going down 35, there were some initiatives put into place to where it says, welcome to Georgetown, home of Southwestern University. And you know that now when you're driving into the community. So maybe this morning, here's a call to action. Maybe this morning you're saying, you know what, I got a little bit of property off 45 that's right near the city limits. And I don't know who you are, if you do or if you don't, or if you know of somebody. But let's find a way to make that happen. When you're driving on the north side and the south side coming into town, I would love to see a big sign there that just says "Welcome to Huntsville, Texas," and have Sam on there. And I'm talking like Sam Houston. I'm talking have the Sam Houston State logo, have the Hornets logo.
Yes.
So when you're cruising in,
the Downtown Business Alliance heads the Christmas lighting project for downtown Huntsville. That project actually expands more than just downtown. Currently, they're in negotiations with Sam Houston State University to put SHSU and Christmas lights out at Big Sam. So definitely kind of trying to take that vision already and work on it, but a more permanent solution would be fantastic.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be thankful for. We talked earlier about Vance and what he's doing with Cafe Texan, bringing in all these artifacts. That's going to draw people off 45, I believe, into the Cafe Texan. The good news about that, not to circle it back about the Cafe Texan, but I'm always all about food.
I'm excited too.
Here's the deal. Don't worry. It is going to be a little bit more upscale now, the food and all that. But here's the deal. They are still going to have chicken fried steak.
Yes.
So if you don't have chicken fried steak, you can't have a cafe here in Huntsville. They're going to have it, so it's going to be good. Hey, friends, stay with us. We're going to step aside. We're going to take one final break. We've got about 8 to 10 more minutes. Let us know that you're out there this morning. A lot of folks still chiming in. Let us know what you're thankful for today. And we want to hear from you and provide that inspiration as we go on here on a Thursday, episode number 9. Justin Killingsworth, the Color Bar, is our Thursday co-host. Hopefully you'll be here every Thursday. If not, I know you'll have somebody from the Color Bar
somebody
here as well.
Will be.
So We'll step aside. We'll take a break. A lot more to come here as we close it out in the next segment. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Hey, friends, welcome back in. Rob Hipp here on another episode of Good Morning Huntsville alongside Justin Killingsworth.
I know it's so hard to say sometimes.
Killingsworth.
It's long.
I had a principal, and man, this goes back. And I saw him, a few years ago when I went back and visited Georgetown. By the way, Huntsville's hometown to us now. So if your Georgetown friends are watching, we love you, but Huntsville's my hometown now.
Yes.
But I'll always have a heart for Georgetown. But we had a principal in elementary school, and I'm telling you, this was the time, man, to where paddle was in. The paddle was still in. Because how old are you, Justin? If you don't mind me asking.
29.
20. Man, I
had to think about it.
I thought you were a little bit older than that.
Nope, 29.
Dude, that's awesome. I got 9 years on you, man. That's it.
That's
no,
okay.
10 years. I'm 39. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Was the paddle going on in Huntsville when you were in school?
Definitely.
So Huntsville's probably one of the last communities to have it.
I had a principal that literally followed me from elementary all the way until I graduated high school. And Beth Burt, that woman, I love her so much. If you're watching this, Beth Burt was just amazing.
Was she was the paddler, though?
Her and Miss Taylor.
She was the paddler.
Yes, Miss Taylor was the paddler.
The paddler. See, that's, again, doctoring and paddling, man. That's what it's all about. But, it's in elementary school, Frost Elementary. We had a school. There's a superintendent where I grew up, Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Awesome guy, tremendous man. And but there was a principal at Jack Frost Elementary named Vernon Killen. And so when you think of, like, as a kid, you're getting in trouble and you got to go to Mr. Killen's office. Yeah, it was not good. And he had the paddle. I never got the paddle, by the way. I did get in trouble a couple of times.
Oh, I did. Luckily, I'll admit it.
Yeah, I didn't get a paddle, but he had one. He would have it in his office. It was right there on full display. But it had holes in it, like holes drilled out to get the air, so the air's not blocking it, so you could get the full paddle going. You know what I'm talking about, man?
Yes.
So anyways, I don't know why we got on that tangent, but we did. So be thankful. Hey, kiddos, if you're out there watching this morning, be thankful that you don't have to worry about the paddling anymore, because I don't think that's a thing. So
I think it depends. I think there's one school that has that still.
Still has the paddling going. But Justin, been a fun morning. We've talked and highlighted so many good things happening around the community. We're going to get that calendar updated on our website, so make sure that you check out HelloHuntsvilleTX.com. We're going to open up opportunities as well, putting together what we're calling the Ethical Business Directory also. For a very affordable price of only $89 a year, you can be part of our Ethical Business Directory. You may say, well, Rob, why do I want to join that? I'm already in the chamber, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a business owner, the number one thing that you need to do is join the chamber.
Absolutely.
Then get involved in a community service organization, whether it's Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis. Find a community service organization. Those are two things that I always say right off the bat you got to do. Or like Justin, get plugged into the city. Do something. Just be active.
Rob, I'm just plugged in everywhere.
Yeah, you just got to get
Everyone calls, hey, can you do this? Absolutely, sure can. I have a problem saying no, I think.
Well, don't say that because everybody's going to start blowing you up.
It's okay.
But what I'm getting at with this business directory is we did it where I grew up, and with a website that we were blessed with to purchase similar to Hello Huntsville. But we created what's called the Ethical Business Directory. And for those of you that are watching here today, maybe on replay, maybe you're back on Spotify or throughout the podcast network and you're hearing the audio right now, if you need products and services in Huntsville, go to your local chamber, look through them, but also check out our Ethical Business Directory that we're going to be launching on Hello Huntsville. It's really important because we require members that join this business directory to uphold a code of, it's another tongue twister, uphold a code of ethics.
Sweet.
And basically those ethics are just saying, hey, do what you say you're going to do. Take care of the customer.
Right.
Resolve any issues in a timely and amicable manner. Those kind of things. And the way that we're going to enforce that is based on people calling us saying like, hey, you've got Joe Schmo that's in your directory and he's not upholding, he didn't treat me right. And we'll call that company and, we'll kind of be a negotiator in some ways too if there are any issues. but we're going to present that directory to the community as the place to go for products and services. So for $89 a year, we're going to launch that. You'll also get a little decal on your window that you can put in your storefront, or if you work from home, you can put that wherever. It'll have a QR code that links back to the website. So we want to promote that. It's a great way. And then also, not to get too technical, but the way that we have it set up on the website, there's some SEO stuff. What that is, search engine optimization. Again, I don't want to get technical, but it'll really help boost your business there with your online presence. So excited to bring that. We're going to have
Rob,
articles
I just wanted to hit on, I love the ethical business directory because, like for us at the Color Bar, we have many different systems in place from our front desk asking, how was your experience? That's the first opportunity. If something went wrong, we're asking, we care, we want to know about that. Second, they get an email after they check out, how was your experience? That way they can do that in a more private, intimate setting if they choose. And as soon as any of those come in that are literally 4 stars or below, I myself personally call, or my salon manager will call them. And my salon manager has to respond to those within 2 hours. I set that, and I am like, no, this is it. If there is something that went wrong, first off, it shouldn't have went wrong.
Yeah.
And we need to address that as fast as we possibly can because that means that guest didn't have a great experience. And so that really means a lot that, we're starting something like that because that's what people want to feel valued.
Yeah, 100%.
People want to feel important. People want to feel heard. And so, that's just holding businesses accountable to that is fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it's important, and appreciate that, Justin, because we want to present that to the community, saying, hey, if you need products and services, go to our business directory because these businesses follow this code of ethics. And I'll be honest, we're not going to allow just anybody in. If you've got negative Google reviews more than a certain amount, if you've got 100 reviews and you're 3-star rated, I'm not going to let you in the directory because there is something going on there. In my background in IT, I can also tell the fake reviews, and I know when people pay for reviews because I had a competitor in my hometown that paid for reviews for his IT company. I called him out on it because he had like 100 5-star reviews. Number one, if you have all 5 stars, congratulations to you. But I'll be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical. Yeah. I want to see a 4.9 or a 4.8.
Oh, there's the Color Bar has some.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We need that. But and then I started researching who wrote these reviews. Well, the same person that wrote a review for a tech IT company in Georgetown also wrote one for 10 other companies throughout the U.S.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm like, how
you want to know
my
my favorite thing, Rob, is I guess it's a double-edged sword here, so I'll just go ahead and open it up. I love the guests that want to come in, and it doesn't matter what you do, but then they go on Google and they leave you a bad review with the name 1-2. And it's like, well, if you really cared about having a good experience, wouldn't you let yourself be known?
And their name was 1-2, and you got to wonder
where's the 1 and 2,
and where's 3-4?
Yeah, right. I'm like in 5, 6, and okay, it's like care about the businesses that are trying to promote and help everyone grow. It's like in general. So
well, as we wrap it up here today, Justin, appreciate you being on with the Color Bar. Go by and check them out. Schedule your appointment. What's the website?
ColorBarTX.com.
ColorBarTX.com. I want to put that on there. So
you
go
can
over there.
schedule 24/7.
Go on there right now.
Make a reservation anytime.
Great text messaging system. Justin's got all the technology in place. ColorBarTX.com. Ladies, you need your hair done. Guys, you need your hair done. Go by and see Justin.
Absolutely. Full service.
Full service, great staff, and they will take good care of you. And Justin, we'll be seeing you in here hopefully every week. If not, I know you'll have some of your representatives as well. Before we go today, too, I always like to have a very quick just little segment to kind of lift you up. And today I want to lift up the community. We try to do that on every show anyways. I want to encourage you today, friends, if you're out in public and you see somebody hurting, and you'll feel the tug at your heart. And by hurting, I mean maybe there's somebody behind you in line at HEB that they're struggling. You see a mother that looks single and has 2 kids behind her, and she's trying to get the kids together. If you have the resources financially to bless somebody today, wherever you're at in town, I kindly ask that you do that. I just feel like that was on my heart today. If you're at the grocery store and there's somebody behind you, again, maybe they're struggling, and you just have that tug at your heart saying, you know what, they've got a handful of groceries. I can afford to pay for those. Take care of that person today. Maybe you're going through the drive-through line at your favorite fast food restaurant, and you know what? Just pay it forward. Pay for the guy behind you. It was funny. One time I went through a drive-through line, and the person at the window told me, they're like, you're the fourth person in a row that's done this, so it just kept paying it back.
Right.
And I just want to encourage you today, because you don't know what kind of a difference that can make. Maybe there's somebody out there going through something.
And also, like, it encourages others to do it. You know, like to pay it back. You were the fourth person. I bet the fifth person did it too, because, they bought mine. I was going to spend this. Let me buy the next one. You know, and it's so nice. I've had that happen to me before as well. And it started a lot and different things like that. You know, now through Starbucks, you have the app, so it's kind of a little harder to do that. And
it is a different feeling than if you're at a sporting event and like you just meet a random stranger and they're like, hey, let me buy you a beer and then I'll get the next one. Well, then it kind of cancels out, so it doesn't even matter anyways.
Right.
This is different.
Yes, it is different.
So just help somebody out there today, Huntsville. And those are the things. Think before you respond, before you react. I think so many times everything that we do in life starts up here. This thing between our two ears called our brain. Everything starts with our brain. So just think before you react. I know sometimes emotions get to you. Maybe at a restaurant you didn't feel like you got the greatest service. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't go rushing to the internet. Don't go to social media and bash these companies. Try to make it right. Just like Justin said earlier, you know, if you feel like leaving a negative review, call the owner first, call someone first, and try to work with them. And good business people will say, what can I do to make this right?
Absolutely.
Give them the opportunity to make it right, because those negative things honestly get seen not just by people in our community, which hurts local business, but it also is the image of Huntsville. We don't want to promote an image of a community that there's a lot of negativity going around. And look, I'm not telling you, if you do receive bad service and you try to get help and nobody's helping you, by all means, do whatever you feel like you have to. But give someone the opportunity to make things right first, because people do see that, and we don't want to go on the internet and go to every business in Huntsville and see a bunch of negative remarks.
Absolutely.
And I don't think we see that. We see a lot of positive.
We see a lot of positive.
We'll be back on tomorrow. I got to look at my calendar here. We've got, hold on one second, Justin, because we've got some more guests lined up tomorrow. Roxanne Moss will be joining us tomorrow with the American Legion.
Oh, fun. They just had a crawfish boil, I think, too.
They did. They've got more events coming up, so Roxanne is going to join us. And then Kay and Rick Boning is our Friday co-host. They will be with us tomorrow.
We're going to have a packed house tomorrow.
We're going to have a packed house. And by the way, if you want to come out and never just hang out, we got a couple of seats. You're more than welcome to come by and say hello as we are live on the show. We won't talk to you during the show, but we'll at least wave at you.
We might involve the audience a little bit.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll start giving away. You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe we'll do some cash giveaways coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Maybe on social media, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we want you to get
that's
active.
good marketing right there.
There's Justin providing the marketing. Hey, Huntsville, we love you. Before we go, Justin, what are you most thankful about Huntsville?
My community, the community support that I get and that I'm able to provide to everyone. You know, it is literally people like Rob, and I'll give Ray at the chamber credit. He always says it takes more than one hand to lift up the community, and I use that phrase more than, he says it all the time, but there are so many people in this community that are there cheering it all on. They're there. That's what I'm grateful for. I like the cheerleaders. I like the support, and that's what I'm most grateful for.
Awesome. We are all grateful for it. Again, we love you, Huntsville. We appreciate you very much. Bridget and I, by the way, aren't going anywhere. We moved 5 times in 2 years. We are rooted, and unless the NFL or the NBA
Didn't you move in the same house like 3 times?
Yeah, well, we moved twice into the same house we were renting here, but I joke around and say the only way that I'm ever leaving Huntsville again is if the NFL or the NBA calls. And I'm praying one day, whenever the Houston Rockets or the Texans, when Mark Vandermeer, if you're watching this, Mark, one day when you decide, hey, Rob, I'm hanging it up, call me, Mark, and we'll work out a deal, all right?
You can't stop. What are you doing? No.
Yeah, so we're going to be here and get rooted. But we love you, Huntsville. We appreciate you. Join us every single morning here starting around 7 a.m. We try to go for an hour or so, highlighting the good that's happening in our community. We'll be back on again tomorrow, bright and early, 7 a.m., so wake up with us and spread the news. So we're trying to get to 1,000 followers on our Facebook page on Hello Huntsville by the end of the month. We just hit 800 in just a few short weeks, just actually yesterday, so we appreciate that.
Well, I just invited 1,000, so hopefully.
There we go. So that's what it is. Hey, guys, have a great day. Remember, get out there, make an impact. As I end every broadcast, I want to remind you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. One final time for today. Good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you back bright and early on Friday coming up tomorrow. Thanks, Justin.